Okay, so yeah, like Miss Lane said, today we're going to talk about the different storms that you guys talked about in your story this morning. Who can tell me what one type of storm you talked about in your story this morning? Yes.
A hurricane.
A hurricane. Good. What others? Gabby?
Snowstorm.
Snowstorm. Good. Yes.
A tornado.
Tornado. Good. Yes.
Hail.
Hail. Good. So I believe those were the four.
No.
Oh, one more.
There's a blizzard.
Blizzard. True. Snowstorm and blizzard. Those are similar. But yes, so I'm going to start talking about hail. And I'm going to show you guys, first I'm going to show you guys a video about what is hail. So we're going to watch a video and then we'll talk about it, okay? Okay. You ready? Yes. Sorry.
What is hail?
Rudy Rainbow, Weather School. May I introduce myself first? Hail is a special type of rain. You don't see me very often, since a hailstone only forms in large thunderclouds. Thunderclouds mostly form during summer. That's the time when the rays of the sun are especially strong and make many water particles rise into the sky. They create huge clouds with lots of water drops. The wind is blowing very hard in these clouds, and the drops are blown very far up. High up in the cloud, the air is very cold, and the water drops there freeze into ice. That makes them heavier, and so they start sinking again. Farther down, the ice grains hit the water drops there. They stick to the ice grains and make them grow a bit more. Once the ice grains reach the bottom of the cloud, the wind blows them back up. More water drops stick to them. This keeps on happening until the clumps of ice grow too heavy to float and fall to the ground. That's what we call hail. Some hailstones can even reach the size of a soccer ball.
Good. So, can someone tell me what hail is? Do any of you know? Yes?
Big balls of ice.
Big balls of ice. And where does it fall from? Yes?
The sky.
The sky. Good. Can you tell me when hail forms? Like, when does it come down? Just on any ordinary day? Or during what? Yes?
During the snow day.
During what?
Very cold. And
Does hail fall during snow?
yeah.
Okay, so hail, like you said, is big blobs of ice falling from the sky. But hail forms during thunderstorms. So when we have a bad storm and you look outside and you see chunks of white things on the ground, that's when hail forms. So hail doesn't form during snow, but it does form during a thunderstorm. Do you think hail can do a lot of damage?
Yeah.
What kind of damage? Yes? In the black? What kind of damage can hail do?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
It can hurt really bad.
Hurt what bad?
Someone.
It can hurt somebody? If you're standing out in the hail, it could hurt. Yes,
Break your
Pepper?
head. It can hit your car.
It can hit your car. What would it do to your car, do you think?
It could do dents.
Put a dent to the car? I agree. Miss Layton was telling us that one year when she was teaching, there was a hailstorm and she went outside and her car had little dents all over it from the hail while she was teaching.
It was.
Yeah. So it was like a hailstorm. So yes, just a reminder, like hail is pellets of frozen rain. So when during these thunderstorms, when it gets really bad, hail will start to form. But I want you to know, like, hail doesn't happen during every thunderstorm. It's just some thunderstorms. So not every time that you look outside and it's storming is there going to be hail. Just sometimes.
Or this would be a hail whirl.
A hail walk. Good. Yes. So what type of thunder or what type of storms do hail fall in? Everybody say it. Thunderstorms. Good. So that's our next storm that we're going to talk about. So next I'll have one more video about thunderstorms.
You've probably seen a big thunderstorm cloud roll into town, and the thunder, lightning, heavy rain, and gusty winds are hard to miss. But where did that thunderstorm come from? All thunderstorms follow the same recipe. To form, these storms require three basic ingredients: moisture, unstable air, and lift. Moisture in the air typically comes from the oceans, and areas near warm ocean currents evaporate lots of moisture into the air. Moisture in the air is also responsible for making clouds. Unstable air forms when warm, moist air is near the ground and cool, dry air is up above. To create a thunderstorm, the unstable air needs to have a nudge upward. This lift usually comes from differences in air density. Warmer, less dense air rises upward, creating lift. As the air lifts higher and higher, it causes a storm cloud to grow taller and taller. Thunderstorm clouds can rise up to 10 miles into the air. In a big thunderstorm cloud, there are now strong upward winds and downward winds happening at the same time. These are called updrafts and downdrafts. This is the most dangerous stage of the storm, when tornadoes, hail, winds, and flooding can happen. Updrafts continue to fuel the storm with warm, moist air. But once a storm runs out of updrafts, it starts to weaken. As the storm begins to slow down, the rain and wind become less intense. And by the end, all that's left is a blue sky and an anvil-shaped cloud top. Phew! Glad that's over. Sure, the storm will probably come again, but you don't need to worry. Forecasters can use weather satellites, like those in NOAA's GOES-R series, to monitor clouds as they grow into thunderstorms. Those satellites watch out for lightning, too. These satellites are constantly watching for severe weather, and the information they gather can help people stay safe during storms. Find out more about Earth weather at NOAA Sightings.
Noah.
So good. Okay, so what are the two things that can happen during thunderstorms? One, I'll give you a little hint. One you can hear, and one you can see. What are those two things? Yes, what's one of them?
One of them is lightning.
Lightning, good. Can you hear or do you see lightning?
See.
See it. What's the other one? Lightning and? Can you guys say as a class?
Thunder.
Thunder. Good. So a thunderstorm is a storm with lightning and thunder. And during a thunderstorm, there usually is some heavy rain and sometimes some, what did we just talk about? Hail. Good job. So some vocabulary that I can remind you of that was in the video is a downdraft. A downdraft is a downward current of dry or cool air to the ground. So when it's raining, this is when the downdraft happens because it's usually with precipitation. So when it is raining, that's when the down draft happens. When the updraft happens, that's when the warm and like upward current of warm air goes up into the sky, which is what makes the thunderstorm happen. So a thunderstorm can include rain, thunder, winds, sometimes hail, and it happens when there is moisture, unstable air that's warm and that rises to the sky. So that's why. But like the video said, we have a thing called a meteorologist, and that's when a meteorologist will tell you when it's going to thunderstorm. So have you ever heard on the TV or one of your moms or dads say that there's going to be a thunderstorm warning or a thunderstorm watch? Yeah, so those two things mean when the thunderstorm is going to come. But so thunderstorms can usually happen in the afternoon or the evening. Thunderstorms will happen during the morning a lot. It's just like usually rain will happen in the morning, but the actual lightning and thunder you won't see until pretty much afternoon or the evening.
Or
So-
night.
Or night. Good. So now that we talked about a hailstorm and a thunderstorm, what are the other two storms we're going to talk about? What's one? Yes. Yep.
Oh,
Nope, we talked about hailstorm, we talked about thunderstorms. What are the other two? Yes.
hurricane.
Hurricane. And one more. Yes. Tornado. Good. So Kelsey's going to teach you about those ones.
And then for the tornado video, we start at like 108 and end at like
Yep.
328.
Are you ready for now?
Yes. All right, so we're gonna watch a quick video about tornadoes at about 108,
Ooh, adapted my math. Come explore the site with
minus the commercial.
I'm in first class.
We're used to those mountain dads, aren't we?
Yeah.
A tornado, which is also known as twisters, are rapidly rotating columns of air that reach from a storm cloud to the Earth's surface. And when tornadoes are formed, they are a brutal force to reckon with that can tear apart everything that comes on its way, causing massive destruction to the surroundings. It's because of this very nature of tornadoes that scientists have shown a keen interest in it. But the formation of a tornado is so complex that scientists still don't completely understand it, as conditions that give rise to one tornado does not necessarily be responsible for forming another one. But what we know so far is that a tornado is formed under a powerful and big thunderstorm called supercells. When cold, dry air moving from one direction meets warm, moist air coming from another direction, it creates instability in the atmosphere. And as the cold air is dense or heavier, it slides down under the warm air and pushes it upwards very fast. The faster moving air begins to spin and roll over the slower wind, creating an invisible horizontal spinning effect like a cylinder in the lower atmosphere. As the winds continue to build up, stronger and more powerful warm air forces the spinning winds vertically upward, causing an updraft. And with an increase in momentum and speed, the spinning winds create a vortex. Now the wind has enough energy to fuel itself and eventually keep going to form a tornado. And when the pointed part of the tornado touches the Earth's surface from the cloud, it is often referred to as a touchdown. And then it goes and does what it does best. That is, destroy everything along its path. Trivia time!